We love living local. We are Scott and Kelly Greats, third generation Central New Yorkers who live, work, and play right here in the heart of New York.
The mission of this podcast is to shine a spotlight on the people, places, and events that make our community an amazing place to live.
We don't run ads. We don't talk politics. Our only ask is that you help us spread the love that we have for this community by sharing these episodes with your neighbors.
Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to a piece of our history. This is the very first episode of the podcast. And the beauty of continuous improvement is they're only going to get better from here. So you were a pioneer. You were with us from the beginning. Maybe down the road we'll make a t-shirt for that. But quick intro as to who we are, what we're doing, and why it matters. My name is Scott Greats. Say hi to my wife, Kelly.
Hello.
And, look, we were born and raised in beautiful Frankfort, New York. Our paths are very similar. We grew up a block away from each other. We went to the same elementary school, high school, and then I went away to college, St. John Fisher College, and 2 years later, Kelly followed, allowing me to meet a girl from Frankfort while I was at Fisher. So how's that for some irony? Here comes the yada, yada, yada part to where we are now. And so I'll let Kelly fill in the blanks when it comes to what happened on her path professionally after college.
Well, I made a deal with Scott that if he waited 2 years for me to graduate, that we would not come back to Frankfort.
First of many deals.
Yes. And so I graduated and he really wanted to go to Florida, warm weather. I said, I can't be that far away from home and family. So we sort of took our finger and went in the middle and landed on Virginia. I applied to every school in Virginia after getting my teaching degree. And I was hired, I believe it was a week before school started.
That was quick.
They called me last minute and said, we need to add another section of first grade and we would love for you to be a first grade teacher for us. So that brought us to Manassas Park, Virginia, where I taught for 5 years. And we had our first child, Tyler, and my intent was to return to the profession and put him in daycare. Shockingly, I had him and then could not do that. So we...
Well, all fairness too, daycare at that time was, Kelly got paid bi-weekly and daycare costs were equal to one of your bi-weekly checks. So essentially she was going to work half the year for someone else to raise our kid.
And drop him off at an institutionalized daycare, which, I mean, you don't know who it is. It's very didn't seem to me like a nurturing environment. So I tried the stay-at-home bit. And that didn't work. And so I looked at Scott, who I did not think was extremely happy in his career. We threw Tyler in the car and all the personal belongings we could fit with our dog and drove back to Frankfort with no jobs and no home and left our home there with all the furniture in it and signed with a real estate agent and said, sell it. And that brought us back to Frankfort, where I thought I would have no problem getting a teaching job and at the time, there were so many applicants and I did not get offered a teaching job with 5 years experience. And we decided to have our second child, Connor. Luckily, pregnant with Connor, I interviewed again. And that's where I landed my first teaching job back here in New York in Mohawk. And I taught there for 8 years, I believe. And then I made the switch from Mohawk to Frankfort, where I taught for the last 3 years, teaching first grade and third grade in Frankfort. So that's it.
Yeah. So you're gonna find that our history, we've done some pretty crazy things. Our future, we plan to do even crazier things. And now we're inviting you along for the ride. So buckle up. We do things like just look at a map and figure out, what's between New York in Florida, Virginia. I didn't know a soul there. We're like, let's go there. And then, just quitting jobs and packing up 6-month-old babies and a dog and saying, hey, let's just relocate to a place that we have no jobs and no home. Listen, take a chance. Life's a journey. It truly is an adventure. My story is very similar in that it's just been this whole sequence of success and failure and learning along the way. My degree is in journalism. I've never written a story in a newspaper in my life. So, I got the degree, so that was good. And then I discovered that I just really liked making money. And the easiest way for me to make money was in sales. Had a few different opportunities there, was a victim of the real estate crash in 08, then got into banking. I'm sorry, real estate crash in 05, and then got into banking and was a part of the financial meltdown in 08. So twice basically losing my job due to external circumstances, and said, hey, let's see if we can bring down the insurance industry. So in 09, I which I'm working on, opened up the first of what's now numerous insurance agencies, and I do coaching and consulting and all kinds of stuff. But that's us, and that's probably the last time you're ever going to hear us talk about our background, because we are forward thinking and we are excited to be in our hometown. We're excited to raise our family here. We are third generation, like you heard in the intro, and we're hoping to have one of our kids at least stick around and become the fourth generation. No pressure, but really the goal of this podcast, we really want to dive into today and in the next 10-15 minutes or so. We just want to do a few different things, which is, pun intended, this 5S approach. So as we talk about the 5 S's, we want to focus on small business owners, things that are going on with local schools, and that could be students, athletes, teachers, administrators. We want to talk about service groups, which is community service, first responders. We want to talk about what's going on socially, and we want to talk about sports. And so, that's really what you're going to hear as the overriding content, all local, all within like an hour radius of where we are, of where you are. And so with that, I guess we'll kick it over to Kelly to talk about, a few more specifics you can expect out of us on a weekly basis.
So, those of you that listen to the podcast, that's amazing. We're excited about that. If you miss it, there will be a 315er newsletter that you will receive in your email if you happen to miss an episode, and that you may see something in that newsletter that you think is really cool, or it might remind you to go back and listen to the podcast if you forgot to or you missed it. Our weekend buzz, I'm really excited about. That's going to highlight different things that are going on in the area, somewhat of a social calendar, and things you can do or look into if you don't have a plan. Our home field advantage is we are a sports family, and Sundays are for football. Everybody knows that we don't make any plans on a Sunday. We invite over family and friends, and we have a different fan base in the house at all times, and it makes it sort of a fun environment to watch football. So that is going to be a roundtable discussion on the different teams and matchups of the week, and who we think is going to win and lose, and different guests from different fan bases. So that's going to be really fun. And then also we want to recap things we did on the weekend. We'll have a quick conversation on the beginning of the week, discussing what we chose to do over the weekend and our experience. And then one of my favorite things is going to be the Hey Neighbor conversation every week. We are going to spotlight a small business owner, a service group, a sports athlete, someone in the community that we feel like you should know, but you might not know. And so I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, it's pretty robust. Excited about taking it all on. We're really excited to have you along for the ride. And feedback is what we need from you. We want to know what you like, what you don't like. Look, we're married. We own businesses. We've got 3 kids. You can't hurt us. All right. So send in the good, the bad, the ugly. We can take it. We've got thick skin. So, it's who do you know that we can highlight? Where do you go? What do you know that's happening that we can share with this community? That's what it's going to be all about. So what's coming up? Our very first Weekend Buzz episode will be on September 7th. Our first Home Field Advantage will be a Facebook Live right around an hour before kickoff of the NFL opener, around 7:30. And then we'll record that and introduce it as a podcast audio to follow the next day. Our very first Hey Neighbor is going to be with Frankfort Schuyler Elementary Principal Melanie Welch. That will come to you on the 13th. And like Kelly said, each Monday, we're going to do a quick little recap of what we did, what our experience was, what we enjoyed, places we visited, small businesses that we supported. And hopefully you get a few ideas from us and can kind of run with plans of your own going forward. So yeah, that's what's coming up.
Yeah,
ASAP.
I'm really excited. The most exciting part of this is we are a couple that always needs to have a plan. Scott will get a hold of me and say, what's the plan for tonight? What are our plans? And we have a calendar and we live by the calendar and we're scheduled type people. So we're always looking for fun and exciting things to do to support local businesses and stay close to home. That I'm excited that we're actually doing this with a purpose to reach out to everybody else and hopefully people will open our eyes to things that we should be exploring that maybe we didn't think that we would enjoy. So I just think it's going to be a really great opportunity for us to highlight the things we love about our neighborhood, but also other people sharing what they love about the neighborhood.
Like I said, we've been here a long time and we're here intentionally. We could live anywhere in the world and we choose to live right in this community. We're proud to be from here. And when we were growing up, there was this stigma about this area. And you've probably heard the phrase, the armpit of New York. You know, we live in the armpit of New York. Well, I'm here to tell you, we've traveled the country. We've hit almost every state. We've been to multiple countries. And the more we travel, the more we realize we just love it here. We love living local. There's so many amazing things about this area, so many amazing people. And we just want to be one of those people that help other people and erase that stigma. And it's happening. You know, I think this is the most exciting time I've seen in my life to be in Central New York. There's so many positive things going on. So we're just pumped to be a part of it. We want to promote it. We want to bring a national spotlight feel with our podcast, with our newsletter, with our celebrating, you know, kind of hometown heroes, if you will, to our local market, you know, and just really have a worldly focus on the 315. And the best part, in my opinion, this is a passion project. So we are not going to run any ads. We're not looking for sponsors. We're not charging people to highlight them. This is not a money maker. In fact, we'll lose money on this project.
Yes, we will.
Like many projects that we do.
Funny. Last night I was at a soccer scrimmage discussing, you know, what we were about to, you know, launch. And this girl that I used to teach with looked at me and said, well, how are you going to make money? And I said, well, we're not doing it to make money. And it just sort of blew her mind that we would even.
Yeah, it's a true passion project. So you're not going to get any ads. And the thing that I'm most excited about is you're not going to get any politics. So this is all positive vibes, all just, you know, highlighting what's awesome. Think of it as the news without politics. You know, that last like 90-second piece they run on the national news that makes you feel really good, that warm fuzzy. Yeah, that's what this is going to be. Just that last 90 seconds, but expanded into the whole program. So with that, closing thoughts, Cal?
Closing thoughts. Subscribe to our podcast.
Do that. Yeah.
Definitely do that. Leave us some reviews and ratings. Let us know what you like in a kind way. Let us know what maybe we can do a little bit better. And just stick with it. Stick with us through this because we're doing this.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's share it. You know, share it with your neighbors. Like I said, this is all about community, growing our community and celebrating all that's good. And in this digital world we live in, you are who your reviews and ratings say you are. So please help us there. Say good things about us. You know, do some reviews, do some ratings, and that's how we're going to grow this thing. So How do they get a hold of us? Kelly's in charge of all the important stuff. You will find that I am sometimes the ugly face and the name behind things, but behind every successful man is a woman, and I'm not sure I'd be alive at this point in my life if it wasn't for this woman sitting with me now. So all the important stuff she takes care of. So how do you reach us?
You reach us by emailing me, Kelly at lovelivinglocal315.com. Shoot me an email. I will do my best to respond quickly. However, I'm still working part-time as well, and Scott has now working double overtime, as he has many.
I think that's triple.
Yeah, triple overtime now with this new project. So just bear with us, and I'll do my best to get back to you, and that's it.
Kelly at Love, that's all lowercase, all one word, Love Living Local 315. That's numeric 315.com. And thank you so much for sticking with us. Thank you for in advance for your support of this project. We look forward to the journey, and we will see you out there.
All right.
Thank you for tuning in to another Love Living Local episode. Before you head out to support all things Central New York, we just have one ask of you. Please help us share the love we have for our community by sharing this podcast with a neighbor of yours. We truly appreciate you. In fact, you are one of the many reasons we love living local.